The Black Deadbeat Dad, an examination of accountability and behavioral dynamics. As a black male, the author speaks on issues that seem problematic in the black community, which is not designed to shame, but to shed insight for positive community development. The term deadbeat dad refers to a father who neglects his parental responsibilities, often failing to provide financial support or emotional care for his children. This phenomenon is multifaceted, encompassing various behaviors and underlying factors, including making additional babies without taking accountability, prioritizing personal indulgences over child support, a lack of maturity, lack of motivation to maintain consistent employment, and the absence of effective enforcement mechanisms from the mother. Additionally, the lack of positive parental role models during the father's development and certain psychological theories help explain these behaviors. Recommendations for addressing this issue range from shaming tactics to incarceration. Making additional babies without accountability. One of the defining characteristics of a deadbeat dad is the tendency to father multiple children without taking responsibility for their upbringing. This behavior often stems from a disregard for the long-term consequences of their actions. Such men may engage in relationships without considering the potential for procreation or the associated responsibilities. This lack of accountability exacerbates the cycle of neglect, as each additional child represents another unmet obligation and further strains the limited resources available to all offspring. Prioritizing personal indulgences over child support. Deadbeat dads frequently prioritize their personal desires over the needs of their children. This behavior can manifest in various ways, such as spending money on luxuries for themselves while neglecting to pay child support. Extravagant purchases, nights out, or investments in hobbies take precedence over fulfilling their financial obligations to their children. This selfish behavior reflects a fundamental lack of commitment to their parental role and a failure to understand or acknowledge the importance of providing for their children. Lack of maturity. Immaturity is a common trait among deadbeat dads. This immaturity often manifests as an inability to prioritize responsibilities, evidenced by excessive time spent on leisure activities such as playing video games. While recreational activities are not inherently problematic, an overindulgence in them at the expense of fulfilling parental duties indicates a significant lack of maturity. Such men may struggle to transition from the carefree lifestyle of their youth to the more demanding role of a parent, resulting in neglect of their children's needs. Lack of motivation to maintain consistent employment. A significant issue among deadbeat dads is the lack of motivation to maintain consistent employment. Many of these men rely on day-to-day occasional menial and day laborer jobs, which do not provide stable income or benefits. This inconsistency in employment results in an unreliable stream of financial support for their children. The reluctance to pursue or sustain steady employment can stem from various factors, including a lack of skills, educational deficits, or a simple aversion to the structure and demands of regular work. This transient approach to employment exacerbates the financial instability of their children's lives. Lack of enforcement of child support. The mother's role in enforcing child support can significantly impact the behavior of a deadbeat dad. When the mother fails to pursue legal avenues to ensure child support, the father may perceive a lack of consequences for his neglect. This perception can reinforce irresponsible behavior, as the absence of enforcement diminishes the father's motivation to fulfill his obligations. Effective enforcement mechanisms are crucial to ensuring that deadbeat dads contribute to their children's upbringing. Absence of positive parental role models. The lack of positive parental role models during a man's development can profoundly influence his behavior as a father. If a man grew up in an environment where his own father was absent or neglectful, he might lack a framework for responsible parenting. The absence of a nurturing and responsible father figure can hinder the development of essential parenting skills and values. Consequently, these men may repeat the cycle of neglect and irresponsibility they experienced in their own childhoods. Negative effects on young boys. The absence of a responsible father figure can have significant negative effects on young boys. Boys raised without a father may struggle with identity issues, low self-esteem, and behavioral problems. The lack of a male role model can leave them without a clear example of how to navigate the complexities of manhood, leading to confusion and insecurity. These boys are at a higher risk of engaging in delinquent behaviors and may have difficulty forming healthy relationships in the future. Effeminate behaviors and the cycle of neglect. Being reared predominantly by their mothers, some boys may adopt behaviors and characteristics traditionally associated with femininity. While gender roles are increasingly fluid and the expression of a range of behaviors is healthy, societal pressures and stereotypes can cause these boys to face ridicule or bullying, which can further impact their self-esteem and social development. Additionally, without a positive male role model, these boys may lack the tools to break the cycle of neglect, potentially becoming deadbeat dads themselves. Deadbeat dads seeking credit from successful children. A particularly troubling behavior exhibited by some deadbeat dads is showing up to take credit or seek financial benefits when their children achieve success. Whether a child becomes a doctor or is drafted into the NBA or NFL, these fathers often reappear, attempting to reap the rewards of a child's hard work and success. This opportunistic behavior underscores their lack of genuine interest in their children's well-being, as their involvement is motivated by personal gain rather than support or pride. Such actions can cause emotional turmoil for the child, who may feel manipulated or used by a parent who had previously shown little to no interest in their upbringing. Psychological theory, social learning theory. Social learning theory, developed by Albert Bandura, provides a framework for understanding the behavior of deadbeat dads. According to this theory, individuals learn behaviors through observation, imitation, and modeling. If a man grew up in an environment where neglectful parenting was the norm, he might internalize these behaviors and replicate them in his own life. Bandura's theory emphasizes the importance of observational learning, suggesting that witnessing and experiencing responsible parenting can lead to the development of positive parenting behaviors. However, in the absence of such role models, men may adopt negative behaviors they observed during their formative years. This theory underscores the significance of positive role models and the impact of early experiences on adult behavior. Interventions based on social learning theory might involve providing positive role models and promoting responsible parenting behaviors through education and support programs. Recommendations for addressing the issue. To address the issue of deadbeat dads effectively, a multifaceted approach is necessary. Recommendations include shaming tactics. Publicly highlighting the neglectful behavior of deadbeat dads can create social pressure for them to fulfill their obligations. This could include publishing lists of those who owe significant child support or using social media to raise awareness. Incarceration. For those who consistently fail to meet their child support obligations, incarceration can serve as a last resort. While it may seem harsh, the threat of jail time can act as a powerful deterrent for many. Employment programs. Providing job training and employment programs can help deadbeat dads find and maintain steady employment. These programs should focus on skill development, job placement, and ongoing support to ensure long-term employment stability. Legal enforcement. Strengthening legal mechanisms to enforce child support payments is crucial. This can include garnishing wages, intercepting tax refunds, and revoking licenses for those who fail to pay. Counseling and support. Offering counseling and support services to deadbeat dads can address underlying issues such as immaturity, lack of motivation, and the absence of positive role models. These services can help them develop the skills and mindset needed to become responsible parents. Conclusion. The phenomenon of the deadbeat dad is complex and multifaceted, involving a combination of personal choices, environmental factors, and psychological influences. The tendency to father multiple children without taking responsibility, prioritizing personal indulgences, immaturity, lack of motivation to maintain consistent employment, lack of enforcement of child support, and the absence of positive parental role models all contribute to this issue.